Have you ever been in a room, barely spoken a word, and still felt the weight of someone's gaze on you? Like someone couldn't help but keep glancing in your direction. Not because of anything you said, but because of something else entirely. Something quieter, something deeper, something undeniable. That's not charisma, that's not charm, that's not game. That is the masculine silence that drives her crazy inside. And if you don't understand it yet, you're about to see why it's the most overlooked and most powerful form of attraction a man can ever cultivate. A presence that commands without asking, a calm that destabilizes, a stillness that seduces. Most men today are too loud, not just in words but in presence. They try to fill the space, they try to impress, they talk over others, laugh too hard, explain too much. Why? Because deep down, they're trying to be seen, they're hoping to be enough, and in that very act, they give away all their power. But the man who commands attention through silence, the man who sits in his stillness and lets the world move around him, that man is unforgettable. And she feels it, not with her mind, but in her body, in her breath, in her tension. She feels it the way you feel a storm about to hit, a quiet electricity that hums below the surface. She doesn't talk about it openly. She might not even understand it herself, but women feel it deep in their nervous system when they're around a man who doesn't need to prove himself, a man who isn't performing for approval, a man who is already enough. He walks into a room and doesn't announce his presence, but everyone knows he's there. Something about him shifts the air. He listens more than he speaks, and when he does speak, his words matter. There's weight behind them. He thinks before he responds because his time and attention are not impulsive. They are deliberate. He moves slowly, decisively, calmly. Every gesture has intention, not anxiety, and it makes her heart race. Not because he's flashy, not because he's loud, but because he's anchored. She can feel that nothing shakes him, that he's not seeking approval, that he's not adjusting who he is to be liked. And that calm, that silence, that steady presence, it creates polarity, it creates tension. And in that tension, attraction is born. Women don't fall for the man who tries to impress. They fall for the one who doesn't need to, the one who already knows who he is, regardless of what she thinks. Let's go deeper. Most guys think attraction is built through what you say, the jokes, the flirtation, the clever lines, but that's not what draws her in. That's not what makes her lie awake thinking about you. It's how you carry yourself in the spaces between. It's how you hold a pause after she speaks. The pause that shows you're not in a rush to react, to respond, to entertain. It's how your eyes don't dart away when hers lock with yours. It's how you hold contact, not in challenge, but in calm acknowledgement. It's how you sit comfortably in your own body, even in silence, especially in silence. Because here's the truth, silence creates space, and space creates mystery, and mystery creates desire. Women don't obsess over what they fully understand. They don't chase what's already handed to them. They lean in when there's something they can feel but not fully explain. The masculine silence creates that. It speaks without words. It stirs something in her. It invites her curiosity. And that curiosity, that's the hook that keeps her coming back. That's what makes her text first. That's what makes her imagine you when you're not around. That's what creates that invisible thread between you. But here's what most men get wrong. They confuse silence with passivity. They think being silent means being passive, withdrawn, or uninterested. That's not what we're talking about here. True masculine silence is active, it's intentional, it's deeply aware, it's full presence in the moment without the need to dominate it. When you cultivate masculine silence, you're not absent, you're fully present, you're locked into the moment, you're observing everything, you're feeling everything, but you're not reacting, you're not flinching, you're not rushing to fill the void. And in that calm, you signal something primal to her. You show her you are grounded, you show her you are safe, you show her you are not easily moved. That's rare, that's powerful, and it's felt immediately. Because the truth is, women are flooded daily with men who talk too much, who try too hard, who get flustered, who rush to impress. So when she meets a man who listens more than he speaks, who doesn't react to her tests, who isn't performative, he stands out like lightning in a night sky. He's rare. he's powerful, and he's unforgettable because silence isn't emptiness, it's strength under control. So where does this silence come from? It's not something you fake, it's something you build. It comes from doing the internal work, from removing the need to be validated, from detaching your identity from other people's responses, from owning your presence fully. It comes from solitude, from reflection, from long walks without distraction, from sitting in stillness with yourself, from not needing to check your phone every few minutes just to feel busy. It comes from choosing to build a life that isn't dependent on anyone's attention but your own. It comes from confidence, but not the kind that's loud or boastful. It's the kind of confidence that says, I know who I am, even if you don't. I don't need to prove anything to be respected. I am full, with or without your approval. That kind of presence doesn't come from theory. It comes from experience, from rejection, from failure, from rebuilding yourself piece by piece until you no longer chase what's fleeting. And when a man becomes that kind of grounded, when he is silent, still, and centered, he becomes magnetic, he becomes felt, he becomes remembered. So what happens when you carry this masculine silence into your dating life? She leans in, she gets nervous around you, for no obvious reason. She becomes more expressive, more open, more curious, because your silence creates a container for her emotion. Your stillness creates space for her chaos. Your calm creates polarity for her energy. You don't dominate the room. You don't interrupt. You don't need to prove. You just are. And in that presence, she feels something she doesn't feel anywhere else. A man she doesn't need to lead. A man who can hold tension. A man who can hold her. She feels safe to unfold, safe to surrender, safe to be feminine. That's why the silence drives her wild. It awakens the part of her that's waiting to be held, not entertained. But let me be clear, this isn't about manipulation. It's not about acting mysterious just to get her attention. It's not about gaming her into submission. It's about becoming so comfortable in your own skin that you don't need anything from her to feel whole. It's about learning to speak with your eyes, your posture, your energy, before your mouth ever opens. It's about bringing stillness into a world addicted to noise. And when you do that, she'll feel it, not logically, but emotionally, in her nervous system, in her subconscious, and it will drive her wild. Not because of what you said, but because of how you made her feel. So if you want to stand out today, not by trying harder, not by being louder, not by chasing more, do the opposite. Slow down, be quiet, feel your presence, let the world adjust to you, because the man who doesn't rush, the man who doesn't beg, the man who doesn't need, that man doesn't go unnoticed. He becomes unforgettable, he becomes magnetic, he becomes the one she never saw coming, but can't stop thinking about. So next time you're in a room with her, don't try to impress, don't try to perform, don't try at all, just be. And let your masculine silence speak louder than words. Let your presence do the work. Let her come to you. Because the one who can hold stillness is the one who owns the room and the one who owns her thoughts.